Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and we've got some updates when it comes to car loan delinquencies, and it's not exactly the best kind of update. Anyways, before we get into this video, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So every single week, Cox Automotive releases a report talking about the economy and the car market, and in this report, they talk about auto loan delinquencies, and it's absolutely fascinating. The big headline is that delinquencies are now as high as what they were like prior to the pandemic. If you don't know, during the pandemic, auto loan delinquencies crashed, which is a good thing because that meant that people are actually paying off their car loans and paying their payments on time. But that's not happening anymore. So loans that are delinquent by 60 days or more has increased month over month by 5.3%, and year over year we're up by like over 20%, which is crazy. So 1.68% of auto loans were severely delinquent. That was up from, last month's rate, and this is the highest that it's been since 2006, just before, some things happened a couple years after that, and nothing too crazy, but just a few things. Now, with subprime loans, 6.48% were severely delinquent, and again, that is an increase as well. And so basically what we're seeing with these delinquency rates is that they're all very similar to what we were seeing just before the great financial crisis in '08. It's not a message of doom and gloom or anything like that. And this is happening at the exact same time that approvals for auto loans are becoming more and more difficult. And I think that you can kind of see a correlation with the two things. And so let's kind of talk about this whole situation. So obviously, the reason why lending institutions are being stricter about who they're lending to is because, well, they're seeing fewer and fewer people pay their car payments and pay those car payments on time. So they're going to be more careful about who they loan out to, which over the long term is actually a positive thing, because this means that we're going to have fewer delinquencies in the future, or at least hopefully there will be fewer delinquencies in the future. But this is going to cause several happenings within the car market. So first off, with this increase in delinquencies, this means we're going to have an increase in car repossessions, and repossessed cars are always absolute junk. And so we're going to have more crappy cars flood the car market, which is something that has been happening already for most of this year, not because of delinquency, just because there's a lot of crappy cars flooding the car market. So this is actually going to bring down wholesale prices with used cars even more, and this is going to widen the gap in the used car market. And the gap I'm talking about is the gap between cars that are good and cars that are not so good. What we're seeing right now is if you have a used car that has desirable options and is in good condition, it sells for all the money. And if you don't have that, then it's just not worth it. Nobody wants to touch your car. Nobody wants anything to do with your car. And we're just going to have more of those. So this is going to bring down the overall used car market. And then again, on top of that, with lending institutions becoming stricter, this is going to kick more people out of the car market, which means that this is naturally going to bring down car prices. And it is too soon to tell how much car prices will be affected by this ongoing situation with an increase in delinquencies and an increase in credit tightening. But what I can tell you is that this is not going to be good for dealerships, and well, it could potentially be good for customers, and more specifically, it'll be good for customers that are very well qualified when it comes to credit or are paying cash for a car, because, well, the car deals we're going to see moving forward are going to continue to get better, because this is happening at the exact same time that new car manufacturing is continuing to increase. So I want you guys to let me know what you think about this whole situation with delinquencies increasing. Do you think this is a good thing for the car market? Do you think this is a bad thing for the car market? And do you think that the trend of delinquencies increasing is going to continue into the future, or do you think that we're pretty much at the peak? My personal guess on this situation is I don't think that we are at the peak at this point, and the reason why I don't think we're at the peak is there's still a whole lot of people that bought cars at the peak of the pandemic, or in terms of the peak of pricing rather, right, with used cars and new cars that are way underwater on their car. And if anything happens to these people financially to where they can't afford their car payment anymore, boom, more delinquencies. So I think that we have a lot happening right now, but I think we're going to continue to have more happening into the future. We'll see you.